Hey, what's going on everyone? Ian here with another video. And of course, if you couldn't already tell, yes, this is SUBRINA 1.0. This is the original SUBRINA that Bucky Lasek created. This is a 2012 Subaru STI, and it is just pure badass, quite simply. Rewind to 2 years ago, and about the time where Bucky was selling the car, I had seen it on social media and told my friend about it. Long story short, we ended up meeting with Bucky a few days later at K1, and we definitely got beat by his two little girls that were racing at K1. But I don't feel that bad because obviously their father is a professional race car driver, so I think it's in the genes, you know what I'm saying? But we ended up test driving the car later that evening, and we both just absolutely fell in love with the car, and rightfully so, because it's just done right and done tastefully. So now, fast forward to this point, 2 years later, why is my buddy selling this car? Well, that's a great question, because if it was me, personally, I would never sell the car. This is an attainable dream car, which is what Bucky essentially built this car to be. A dailyable track car that can be also driven back home from the track and done on a somewhat of a budget. My buddy's basically selling it because, well, they put her order in for a Tesla not too long ago, so he has to let this go, unfortunately. In the past 2 years, he hasn't really put a lot of miles on the car. In fact, just about 8,000. So he bought it with about 32,000, just over, slightly over, and I just rolled it over to 41,000 over the past few days while I've had it in my hands. And I gotta say, I've had nothing but absolute pleasure driving this thing. It is just a freaking riot. It is such a beast. And it's so well sorted, it just feels good when you drive it. It feels good, it sounds good, it looks good. A lot of people may be wondering, okay, Ian, well, what are the numbers? Well, all right, let me tell you the numbers. So starting out with the numbers for all of you folks. On 91 octane, it produces 362 wheel horsepower with 378 foot-pounds of torque. On the 50-50 mix, which is 91 octane and 100, it produces 385 wheel horsepower and 406 foot-pounds of torque. On E85, which is what I've been running this car since I've had it over the past few days, it produces 431 wheel horsepower with 445 foot-pounds of torque. Numbers to me, they don't really mean anything, but I can definitely feel those numbers, that's for sure. When I accelerate, this car literally puts me in the back of the seat. It's nuts. I've never felt that kind of torque before from a car. It's absolutely crazy. So starting with the parts list, it has a Cybon carbon fiber hood with the grille inlets. For the wheels, we have Motegi's. It came with Toyo R1 tires. These tires are now different, still high performance tires, but not the Toyo R1s. Has CP pistons and rings. It has a Blausch 1.5 turbo. It has 1300 fuel injectors with a larger fuel pump. It has Okada Project coil packs. It has a Koyorad radiator to keep it cool. It has a Cobb access port, of course, to hold all the tunes. It has an AEM intake. It has a Tomei up pipe with headers. It has an agency power catless exhaust, a Crawford air oil separator, KW Club Sport coilovers, a custom intercooler intake shroud, which Bucky created himself, which is pretty freaking sweet if you ask me. It has custom brake rotors. It also had a limited carbon trunk lip spoiler that was on that Cybon carbon fiber trunk. But as you see, we have the OEM wing on here in the trunk. Had an APR front lower air ram, has white lined urethane bushings, agency power sway bars, Defy gauges that are really probably one of my favorite features in the car. They're underneath this vinyl wrap right here. Has a clear bra, which is nice because the paint looks immaculate, undamaged, which is really, really good. And right before selling the car, Bucky actually put a new clutch and new diffs in the car as well. The car is just very well put together. It was put together by a race car driver / enthusiast and shops that understand how to tune these cars and how to properly build them. So very rarely do you get that combination. So I have to say that driving this car over the past week has been an absolute blast for me. Car has had no issues. I went through, I think, 1.5 E85 tanks already, just having fun with it. I've taken it all over San Diego shooting with it and just kind of driving back and forth to work as well. I look at this as more so like almost like a collector's car, but I definitely wouldn't let it be a garage queen. I'd be driving it. So I just want to touch on some of my favorite parts of the car. I already mentioned the 3-pod gauge up top near the rearview mirror, and it sits about right here. I just think that's a really, really nice touch. Another favorite part of mine would be the hood. I love these carbon fiber inserts right here in the inlets. It's just clean, super clean. Another functional piece of the car, which I really like, down here you have, instead of the fog light, you have ducting to cool the brakes. And I mean, if that doesn't tell you that this car is built for performance, I don't know what does. I love the stance of the car. It's not too low to where I'm scraping all around, but if I do end up getting this car, I would definitely raise it up probably about 1/2 inch or so, just to give me a little bit extra clearance. And I actually like that, just a slightly higher fitment. Another thing I like about the car is the vinyl roof wrap that's black up here. I think that's really nice. Gives it a nice accent as well. The KW Club Sport coilovers give the car a really, really solid planted ride. Mixed in with the white line polyurethane bushings, I think that's just a great combination. And the car handles like a dream. I mean, it really does. It's outstanding. I can't really explain it to you guys. It's just something that you have to feel. This car is just dialed in. It's dialed in for the track. It's dialed in for daily drivability on the street. And one more small detail that I think is just awesome for whatever reason is the Vermont sports car rallying decal that is on the passenger side dash. I think that touch is just freaking awesome. I mean, I don't know why that gets my jollies off, but I just like seeing that decal, because how many Subarus, how many STIs actually have that decal put on by someone that was actually a sponsored driver for them? To me, it adds an extra sense of uniqueness to this build. And Bucky, I want to thank you for building such an awesome car. Cobb, SoCal, and Anspec, thank you guys for all your help in building this car and helping Bucky out. I really think this car is just so special, and I'm really happy that this is the first real official review for this channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I look forward to doing more projects like this in the future. So if you're interested, hit me up on social media, on my Instagram, Ian Tolanata, or on my YouTube channel, which you're watching now. So Please subscribe, help the channel grow by sharing and liking this video with your friends. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.